If you've ever felt that split-second surge right before you yell, shoulders rising, jaw clenching, heat rising in your body, this episode's for you. You know that moment when you're about to lose it? That's not a character flaw. That's your alarm system activating. I changed my life in 6 months as a firefighter mom. And it started when I realized the same skill I used to regulate under extreme pressure on the fireground also work at home. We can't lead when we're not regulated. I'm a firefighter. When the fire alarm goes off, we don't panic. We silence the alarm, then we lead. And that same principle applies at home. When you feel triggered, that's your internal alarm going off. And today, I'm going to show you how to silence it. Hi, I'm Leslye. I'm a firefighter, a former fitness coach, and a mom of 2. I've spent over 2 decades training bodies and nervous systems to perform under pressure, whether that's on the fireground, in a gym, or in my own kitchen at 6 p.m. When we're triggered, the survival system flips on. The amygdala fires, our heart rate climbs, breathing goes shallow and fast. Blood shifts to large muscle groups and the prefrontal control drops while amygdala-driven reflexes dominate. That's why it feels automatic, reactive, and fast. So if we try to parent from that state, we escalate or we freeze. So regulating first really matters. On the fireground, we call it air management. So we're on our SCBA, so the air packs on our back. In extreme heat, zero visibility, fast, shallow breathing means we'll go through the compressed air in our bottles really fast. And when we do that, it's super risky because we may not have enough air to complete our task, and worst case scenario, get out of the hot zone. So we train slow, steady breathing under pressure. Not only does this keep us calm, but it also conserves our air and helps us focus on our tasks, be it search and rescue or fire suppression. And physiologically, slow, fuller exhales offload CO2, increases vagal tone, which preserves focus when it counts. And the same principle applies at home. If we don't manage our breath, that surge manages us. So here's the first tool, the physiological sigh. This is the fastest reset. So let's do it together. Inhale fully through our nose. Then take a second little sip of air. And exhale long and slow through our mouth. That's 1. So let's do it again. 2 inhales. And a long exhale. We'll feel our shoulders drop. And that long exhale is what matters because that offloads carbon dioxide and recruits our vagus nerve and increases vagal tone. And that is what tells our nervous system that the threat has passed. We don't need 5 minutes. We don't need a meditation app. We just need 2 breaths. And here's what we'll notice. When we do this before we speak, our tone changes, our pace changes, our body changes, and that changes the entire interaction. That's how we silence the alarm before we lead. Now here's the second tool, box breathing. This one is about steadiness. Where the physiological side cuts the spike fast, box breathing stabilizes us. So let's try it. So we're going to inhale for 4. We're going to hold for 4. Exhale for 4. And hold for 4. So like a box. That's round 1. Okay? So repeat that 3 or 4 times. This pattern balances CO2 and oxygen so our body stops signaling urgency. And it steadies our heart rhythm so prefrontal control is easier to access while the alarm quiets. It's not dramatic, it's controlled. And that's why we use it in high pressure environments. It gives us a stable platform instead of a reactive one. The physiological sigh is the emergency brake, and box breathing is the steering wheel. One cuts the surge and the other helps us hold the line. So when we do this before responding to our child, we buy ourselves a few seconds of leadership. And in parenting, a few seconds is everything. Now here's the third tool, the focal reset. This one surprises people, but it works really fast. A long exhale with vibration, a steady hum or hum. When we extend the exhale and add vibration, we recruit vagal pathways via the throat and chest resonance. And that vibration smooths our vocal tone and it signals safety to our system. It helps quiet the threat-based loop that keeps replaying the trigger. And this is powerful because it changes our voice before we speak to our child. We don't need to explain the science to them, we model it. So instead of telling a child, calm down, which often doesn't work when I try to tell them that, we make dragon fire, which is something I came up with after reading the book Dragons Love Tacos. And the dragons were breathing out fire because they ate spicy tacos. So now my kiddos and I do a long exhale with a sound. So we'll blow fire together with a long whoo as we pretend to blow up fire. And this works especially well when we're feeling frustrated and the energy is rising fast. And another one I often get them to do is blow out the candle together. I use this when they're having meltdowns and they're sobbing uncontrollably. Sometimes when they're having a really hard time, I actually get out my candle in a jar, I'll light it up, and I'll get them to blow it out. And it makes it a fun experience. It's novel, and it totally interrupts their fight or flight response, and we get to be in stay and play mode. Children don't respond to instruction first. They respond to state. So we don't command breathing, we invite it. Let's blow out the candle, smell the flower, or just a game of what do you smell? Let's make fog on the mirror. Let's hum like a bee. When we go first, they mirror us. That's co-regulation. And here's what's important. This isn't something we schedule or rehearse like a drill. This is just what we do when feelings are big or when we catch that they're starting to escalate. It becomes part of our repertoire, part of how we move through emotions together. When we use our breath this way, we're not just calming ourselves. We're teaching our children how to silence their own alarms. And that's leadership. So if this resonated with you, don't just watch it, use it. Try the physiological side the next time you feel the surge. Try dragon fire the next time emotions spike. Notice what shifts. And let me know in the comments if this worked for you and your family. Or at the very least, if it led to some really silly good belly laughs. And if you haven't watched the full masterclass yet, go back and watch it. This episode is one piece of the Regulate, Reframe, Repair framework. The masterclass walks you through the full system, how we stabilize our state, how we shift our internal narrative, and how we repair connection when we miss it. If this kind of grounded leadership is the direction you want for your home, subscribe and stay with me. We're building grounded parents and strong family systems here. And the more we practice this together, the steadier our homes become. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you at the next one.